Hi and welcome to Rudys Science Fantasy Experience. So the weekend just gone was the NEC Toy Fair, and me, Dave and Emily and Rich and a few other people all went, and these are my thoughts and haul, I guess. I didn't pick up much, but I got 4 things, 2 gifts and 2 purchases. The Toy Fair was on the Sunday, but it started way before then. I stayed over at Dave and Emily's the day before to make sure that we could get a early start first thing in the morning at 8 to get to Birmingham for 10:30ish. And because we live quite close, we live in the city apart, I headed over there yesterday evening, pretty much more for a play date. And by play date I mean me staring at toys for a while and getting toys off the shelf and not being able to put swords back into Giga Power Dinobots and just loving their whole collection. I was just in absolute awe of it. So it was literally a play date in terms of staring at toys and fiddling about with them, obviously. And this is where the first toy comes from. I was systematically going through each of their shelves, and I was just getting more and more blown away by what they'd got. And I was like, oh, you've got like loads of rarities and like oddities. And I was like, you kind of got some grail pieces to me. And Emily was like, really? Like what? What's a grail piece? And I was like, a G1 Shotgun. And she was like, wow, really? And I'm like, yeah, it's like an absolute grail piece for me. And there's certain rules about grails, and both Dave and I have done videos about it and we've chatted about it, and I said it's a grail piece because I didn't get one as a kid. I never ever saw it in the shops and I was desperate for one. I remember buying the Seacon Overwhite because that was as close to the Shotgun aesthetic that you were gonna get, because it just wasn't ever in the toy shops or the department store. Every time I went to Jolly Giant or Beatty's, the big department store in Wolverhampton, or going to Walworth, there was never a G1 Shotgun. And I'd watched various videos of people doing it. I used to just watch them over and over because I've always been in awe of this toy, this Transformer. And I said, that's why it's a grail. There wasn't one at Auto Assembly in 2013, and for the first time ever I saw it live in the flesh at TFN last year, and I was shocked by how big it was. And Emily just goes, well, here you go, you can have my boxed knockoff one. And I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, I've got a spare KO one in the box right here. I would like you to have it. And here it is. And I'm like, really? You're gonna give this to me? And she was like, yeah, just absolutely. I can see that you will appreciate it, and it's a grail for you, and I want it to be in your collection. So yeah, I now have a KO Shotgun, which I cannot believe. I still actually haven't looked at it properly yet because I got home late and then I've gone back to work. So I'm only just getting a chance to do my whole video now, but I can't wait to have a proper look at this. All these toys are probably much going to get a video at some point, so I'm not going to show too much of the toys off that I've got because I want them to be in the video. But yeah, a a G1 Shotgun in its chromey goodness, and a box. So if I don't say thanks at the end of the video to Emily, thank you very much. It means the world to me to have one, in case I don't thank you. Yeah, so that was the first toy I got from the weekend, from the toy fair, and just the awesomeness that was the weekend. So yeah, let's get into the toy fair. So we get there at 10:30, and the queue went right round the corner. I was just like, oh, that queue's not too bad. And then we went round another corner, and I was just like, oh man, we should have done the early like bird ticket, or next time we'll leave earlier. But pretty much the queue went like that. We were in the queue for like 2 minutes. It just, in you go, one after another. And when I got in there, man, it was incredible. It was like wall to wall, and the stuff there was incredibly varied. And you know, there was all manner of stuff there. And then we made the plan to start from the back and work our way forwards. First stopped off at the Space Bridge to see Paul, because there was a ton of stalls that some of us knew and wanted to see anyway. So we went to see Paul, and we could see that there was like loads of like masks everywhere. And I'd said in the car journey that I've kind of got like a plan, kind of a wish list of things that I wanted. And they was like, no, you shouldn't make a list. And I'm like, no, I need that idea. Otherwise you just blow your money on toys you don't really want. And we could see that Paul had got some masks, and then he said, yeah, there's plenty of other sailors selling masks. So that was a bit deep rooted in my mind that maybe I'll pick up something from Mask. And then we walked around, then get a phone call, and it's Salt Rider, it's Rich, and he comes and joins us, and he goes, oh, before we go anywhere, I've brought you a little gift, Rudy. Here it is, a megabyte from Reboot. And I'm like, oh, awesome. It's that collector camaraderie. Like, I got him the mint on seal card dot from Reboot, and he gives me this, and it's kind of like a Mighty Max or a Polly Pocket. You open it up and you've got the little play set there, and it comes with a host of little figures. You've got Bob and you got Enzo. So yeah, it's just a little fun gift for you to have, and I love it. Thanks, Rich. I love having representations in the collection of cartoons that I love. And in 95, I think that was when it came out, 94, 95. I loved it. It was that first foray into computer generated animation, and the storylines were really cool. I'd get back after school, and 94 I reckon. I could be wrong, but because I feel like I was still at school by then, maybe like 15, 16-year-old me. And I loved it. It's the precursor to Beast Wars, and I just thought it's really cool, and it's a great representation. I've already found a little spot for it to go on the shelf. So yeah, thanks, Rich. I love it. So yeah, back to the toy fair. So we're wandering around. Emily and Dave go off for a little bit, and me and Rich walk around and Rich did the early bird ticket, so he'd already been around and he'd bought loads of Arnold figures and a couple of bits and pieces, so he was already hyped. And we were walking around and we were kind of just chatting as we go. What are you specifically looking for? And I was like, oh, I don't know, I quite like that First Blood NECA John Rambo figure, and it was there at 40, and I was just like, it's the top end. It's a lot of money for a NECA action figure. You know, Bill and Ted were only a little bit more than that, and you get two. And people pick up NECAs for like 20 quid, 25 quid. So that made that decision there. It looks really cool. I'd love one day. And then I got on to like, maybe I'd like, you know, I said I want a Brave Star. I've always wanted a Brave Star, but finding one at least with a hat was the main bit. I saw one in one of the bins, actually, in one of the buckets for 3 quid, but it was dire. It had nothing and it was scratched. It had barely any hair. I mean, like painted hair. It's not a doll. It's not a dolly. And we were walking around, and as I say, we're about a third of what we'd seen, and at the corner of my eye, I spot Mask. The Mask that I have been after now, because I've got a Mask game plan. I've had previous Mask toys as a kid, and I've now got Rhino. I had a couple of the slightly ones that are much rarer now and harder to find. I had those as a kid. I had Wolf Beast, and I can't even think of the name. It's black and green. I think it's Fire Force. The Split Seconds with Julio Lopez, and Wolf Beast was Mars Mayhem, and you had the translucent figures. And I had Manta, the flying one. And now with my game plan in terms of Mask, I've got Rhino, I want a Hurricane, a Thunderhawk, and a Boulder Hill. They're the 4 ones that I want for the collection. And this kind of, I was never interested in Hurricane as a kid, and I wasn't interested in Hurricane until last year when I went to Cardiff, because I went into a Galactic Attic and my wife was like, "What's that?" And she was pointing to Mask Hurricane, and she was like, "That's really cool." My wife really likes 1950s culture clothing, even like toys and cars, and she was like, "Oh, it's a 57 Chevy," but it's so much more than that, because when you twist it one way, the wheels pop down, and then when you lift up that pops up, and you can extend the lights, and you can pull the switchblade out at the back. So I now have a Hurricane, and I saw he had a Rhino which was 60, and he had this Hurricane which was, I wasn't really going to talk about prices, but then again, Rich and Dave and Emily have talked about prices. I got this for 35. There is no chromeware. Oh, there's an extra little bit. It's complete. And it was there with a little price tag of it at 35, and I was just like, here you go. I didn't even pull any of these bits out because I could see straight away what incredible condition it was in. I didn't even care that it didn't have Hondo or his mask, because I knew I could pick that up later. All I wanted was the fact that it had this, because that fires, which I'm not going to fire out because I've lost a piece to Max Ray for pinging toys around. But yeah, I now have the Hurricane, and I like getting toys that my wife can enjoy as well, or that if she thinks she's cool. Because I picked her up a Polly Pocket and an Enid doll, and it's good to have a boy toy that a girl likes. And it is the year of Mask. I'm all over it. I need to relive the Mask glory years, and I want to pick up the ones that are the most obvious ones. So, you know, Thunderhawk's the next on the agenda. After playing with Dave's Thunderhawk on Saturday night and how good it is, I've got to get one. It's who I am on Figure Force. So yeah, Mask, Hurricane, it's incredible. It's everything that you want in a toy. It looks amazing. It's fun to play with. It transforms. It's nostalgic. It's a shelf piece. It's bright, vibrant. I don't know to tell you how good it is. It's awesome. So yeah, I literally hand over my money straight away. Yeah, so that was my first purchase. And then we carry on walking around. Oh, before then, Richard made slight inquiries about the Rhino that he had, and he wanted 60 for that Rhino. So I think that laid a bit of a seed in Rich, even though he'd spent a load of money already. Yeah, and then we kind of walked around and looking at different bits and pieces, and then we kind of all split up, all went our own bits, and we gravitated to this other seller that had a ton of Mask. And before I knew it, David bought Switchblade. And then Rich was making more inquiries about his version of Rhino. Originally, I think he was looking at a Vampire, the motorcycle, because Richard had that and it had died a death. So yeah, it was just a full-on Mask affair. And the guy wanted a bit more for his Rhino, but he had Alex Sector and no box. And for me, the chrome was too damaged on that Rhino. I didn't think it was worth 75 or 70. Rich toddles off, and subsequently goes and buys that at the Rhino with the box. So we are all over Mask at this toy fair. It was just incredible. It was the elation of all of us buying Mask toys. It was incredible. And then we carried on wandering around, looked at every stall possible, and I was good. I was happy because Rich had given me a gift. Emily had given me a gift of a G1 Nor Sharkticon. I was alright if I didn't see any more toys. If I didn't see, I'd got a little bit more cash. I've been selling stuff on eBay, so I wasn't too fussed about getting another toy. I was like, oh, 35 quid's all good. And then we all went our own little separate ways for a bit. I started walking around, wanted to have a look at a few other bits. I wanted to speak to Tom from Bizarro Pieces and speak to the guys from Benji's Toy Box. And I was just walking around, and I think Dave and Emily had gone for food. And Rich was around somewhere. And I went to a store and I saw something. I saw something that I've wanted, but I'd never kind of found it for either the right price or the right condition. And I just walked away. And then I went to go and find Dave and Emily and Rich, and I said, I've seen this toy. It's a little bit out of my budget. But I don't know if I can let it go. And they were like, oh, okay. And it's hard to talk about because I'm going to show the toy, but I don't want to give too much away because this is definitely going to get its own video. And Dave could say like, are you all right? He could see that I was physically like shaking, and I was just like, yeah, I think I need to get it. I don't know. And Dave and Emily and Rich know the story behind this toy, and they were like, you can't not get it. You have to get it. This toy, it was destiny has brought you here to get this toy. And they said that you will regret it if you don't get it. And I think they were right, and I literally rushed over and got it. It is the Rambo machine Bandai Hair Fiend. The box is in better days, and it's sellotaped together, and this is all yellowed, but it's amazing that it's got the box. It's a cool addition, and I can't say because it's going to be in the video. And the toy is a little bit loose, but it's otherwise than that, it's absolutely perfect. So stay tuned to the channel because this is getting its own video, and it'll be a really interesting video to watch. I think I'm already planning it now in my mind. So yeah, this is what I got for the NEC Toy Fair. So there's a few thoughts on it. I've been giving thoughts all the way through, but it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. I'd not been to a toy fair in I don't know, like maybe 5 years. Nothing on that grandiose scale. I've been to, you know, the church hall or the community centre where there's been a couple of stalls. I mean, like 4 or 5 stalls. But it was incredible. I learned a lot. I learned how people buy and all the different collectors in the world, and their nuances, how Dave and Emily collect, how Rich collects, what's important to them isn't exactly important to me, and vice versa. It was really educational, and it was really emotional. The 2 things that I picked up, incredibly emotional. Picking up a grail from Dave and Emily, and a toy that reminds me of being, you know, a 15, 16-year-old still watching cartoons. It was an incredible experience. I'd love to do one every year. It's so much fun. Even if you weren't a toy collector, just to go in and be reminded of nostalgia or toys that you once played with, just to see them again, it'd be a fun day out. You don't need to spend, like, you know, all day there. I even think it shuts up at about half 2. It was phenomenal. That's all I can say. I want to give my thanks to Dave and Emily for driving up there, for inviting me over for a play date, for cracking jokes and teaching me stuff and chatting about emotional bits and pieces throughout the weekend and making each other laugh. Filming a video. We filmed a Tales from the Fiesta on the journey back, and thanks to Rich for being there. And I hadn't seen Rich since TFN, and even though we talk every day on WhatsApp and with bigger force, it's awesome to spend time with other toy collectors and hearing their thoughts and seeing what they buy. All that combined, I want to thank you guys for making it such an incredible experience. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next video. And I would have thought a Figure Force video, a G1 Shotcon review. Maybe not Mars just yet. I want to wait till I've got a few more. I've already looked at Rhino. I don't think I can do it again. Once I've got Thunderhawk and Boulder Hill, and whatever comes my way, mask. And then definitely stay tuned for Hair Fiend. It's something special. Bye.